Welcome to the deep dive. I'm incredibly glad you are joining us today
Yeah, really great to have you listening.
because today we are going to explore a mental landscape that you, me, and essentially every human being on the planet navigates on a regular basis.
Oh, absolutely. Constantly.
We were talking about the universal, agonizing, and honestly completely bizarre psychological experience of waiting in line.
Yes, the cue.
The queue.
Mhm.
Today's mission is to basically unpack the absolute mental gymnastics we go through when we're stuck waiting.
And we have some really great source material to help us do that today.
We do. We're drawing from this really fantastic casual conversation between two hosts. They're both around 23 years old, a guy and a girl named Nagi and Maki.
Right, it's about a 15-minute chat they recorded.
Exactly. And they do this brilliant breakdown of what exactly going on in our heads when we are literally just trapped standing behind other people.
It's so relatable. Listening to their chat it's honestly like holding up a highly accurate mirror to our own inner monologues.
It really is. So we're going to explore the petty, invisible competitions we invent in our heads.
The heavy reliance on our digital crutches.
Yep, the phones. Plus that sudden visceral flood of highly embarrassing memories that just seem to attack out of nowhere.
Oh, the cringe attack.
The cringe attacks. And ultimately, we'll look at why leaning into a little bit of boredom might actually be the best thing you can do for your brain.
It is such a great topic to sink our teeth into because,
Yeah.
well, what is so striking about Nagi and Maki's conversation is how they take this entirely mundane slice of life.
Right, just standing still in a physical space.
Exactly. And they use it to map out an incredibly complex psychological obstacle course.
That's a great way to put it.
Because we tend to think of waiting in line as a purely physical delay, right?
Right.
But mentally, we are running an absolute marathon in those few minutes. We process intense frustration. We make sweeping judgments about total strangers.
We frantically seek out escapes.
We battle our own personal archives of cringe. It really serves as a surprisingly perfect microcosm for examining human nature.
And how poorly we handle unoccupied time.
Precisely.
And it all kicks off with this highly relatable, inciting incident that Nagy brings up right at the beginning of their chat.
The donut shop.
The donut shop.
Oh.
He talks about spending 30 minutes one morning doing nothing but waiting in line for a new donut shop.
30 minutes.
I know. He describes just standing there, smelling the sugar, making literally zero forward progress.
Just brutal.
And he realizes his brain is uncontrollably racing, just bouncing between the most random, disjointed thoughts imaginable.
Which is so funny he mentions that because the very first thing my brain does when I'm stuck like that, I look at the people next to me and I just wonder why their line is moving faster.
Oh my gosh, yes. Maki actually calls this the comparison game in their chat.
The comparison game.
Yeah, and hearing her describe it made me realize how universal this bizarre competitive streak really is.
It's totally universal.
So let's unpack this a bit. Why do we immediately treat a checkout queue like an intense strategic battle?
Well, what's fascinating here is the underlying cognitive bias driving that behavior. Maki perfectly labels this as the grass is greener syndrome.
Oh, right.
When you walk into a store and you choose a line, you aren't just picking a place to stand. Your brain perceives it as a high-stakes decision.
It feels like life or death in the moment.
It really does. And the moment you commit to a line, you fall victim to this kind of hypervigilance.
You start scanning the area.
Exactly. You constantly scan the line next to you, totally convinced that it is moving faster,
More efficiently.
with way fewer hurdles than yours. It is that innate human tendency to believe that the alternative choice, the path we didn't take,
is objectively superior to the one we're currently suffering through.
exactly, every single time.
I hear that, but I have to ask, is it really just about the line? Or is it more about our lack of control in that situation?
It's definitely about control.
Because Nagi's reaction to this phenomenon is just so funny to me. He says he feels like he inevitably chooses the slowest line every single time.
Yep, the curse.
The curse. And I completely relate to that. It doesn't matter what the actual statistical probability is,
No, not at all.
or if the other line only moves like 1 inch further. When you are standing there, it feels like a personal attack.
It does. And what happens next is that the mental frustration actually starts to manifest physically.
Oh, the shifting.
Yes, you start shifting your weight from one foot to the other.
Like you're getting ready to sprint.
Exactly. Your heart rate might even tick up a little bit.
Right.
And then comes the classic tell,
Checking the watch.
the aggressive, repeated checking of the watch. Or your phone clock, even though you know for a fact only 20 seconds have passed since the last time you checked.
Right. Like staring at it is going to make time move faster.
But that physical manifestation is really just your body reacting to a perceived restriction of your freedom.
You feel trapped.
You do. But the most interesting part of this whole cycle is how quickly that internal physical impatience mutates into external hostility.
Oh, we get so mad.
We do. We don't just stand there and peacefully accept that the queue is slow. We don't just acknowledge that logistics take time.
No, that would be too reasonable.
Right. Instead, we actively start projecting our own internal frustration onto the completely innocent people standing in front of us.
We turn them into villains.
We really do. We start analyzing their totally normal behavior through a lens of extreme, irrational annoyance.
And the examples Maki gives for this in the source are so sharply observed.
They are hilarious.
She talks about staring at the person at the register and just wondering what on earth could possibly be taking them so long.
Yeah, she jokingly wonders if the person at the front is writing a book on their receipt.
Writing a book on their receipt.
It's such a great image.
And then, trying to rationalize why the person ahead of her is moving at a snail's pace, she guesses that maybe they are buying 50 apples for a very big pie.
2 apples.
I had to laugh out loud when I heard that, because I do the exact same thing.
We all do.
Just last week, I was behind this guy at the pharmacy,
Yeah.
and in my head, I had completely decided he was refinancing his mortgage at the cash register.
Refinancing his mortgage, that's perfect.
Right. We stand there creating these elaborate, slightly hostile backstories for total strangers, just because they happen to be standing between us and the exit.
Exactly.
But why is our default setting immediate hostility, instead of just assuming, they have a complicated order?
Well, it functions as a psychological defense mechanism. The human brain hates uncertainty. It hates delay. So we try to make sense of the roadblock.
We need a reason.
We need a reason, and we need a target. It is significantly easier to blame the fictional incompetence of the 50-apple buyer than to sit with the uncomfortable reality that you simply have to wait your turn.
That makes a lot of sense.
By casting the person in front of you as the villain of your morning, you give your frustration somewhere to go. But, as Nagi and Maki point out in their discussion, this hostility almost immediately triggers a really fascinating psychological turn.
The guilt pivot.
The guilt pivot.
Oh man, the emotional whiplash of the guilt pivot is so real.
And it's tense.
1 second, you are mentally accusing someone of writing a novel on a piece of receipt paper. And the very next second, you feel this massive wave of guilt for being so mean in your own head.
You realize you're being awful.
You do.
Yeah.
You look at them and realize, wow, I'm being terribly judgmental to a total stranger who is literally just trying to buy their groceries.
Just living their life.
Right. We swing wildly from silent rage to profound internal shame, and we do all of this without ever speaking a single word out loud.
All in our heads.
The mental tax of that alone is exhausting.
It is an exhausting cycle. And because that rapid loop of impatience, irrational judgment, and sudden guilt is so deeply uncomfortable to sit with,
We want a way out.
exactly, we immediately look for an exit hatch. We can't escape the physical line, so we look for a way to escape the present moment entirely.
Which brings us to the most ubiquitous reaction to waiting in line in the modern world.
The phone.
The phone escape. It is the ultimate modern crutch.
It really is.
The very second we feel that impatience or that awkward guilt bubbling up, our hands just automatically dive into our pockets or our bags.
It's practically a reflex at this point.
It is a reflex. Maki uses a really powerful descriptor here during their chat. She says that if she does not have her phone while waiting in line, she literally feels naked.
Naked, that's a strong word.
It struck me too. We feel entirely exposed and vulnerable if we are forced to just stand there with our own thoughts in a public space.
That feeling of being naked without a device really speaks volumes about how dependent we have become on digital distraction.
Oh, for sure.
We use it to regulate our baseline emotional state. The phone acts as a social shield and an emotional pacifier.
A pacifier is exactly what it is.
And when we pull it out, we almost always engage in what Maki accurately describes as mindless scrolling.
Yes, the mindless scroll. We all know it.
We do.
You open an app and you just plunge into the infinite feed, Instagram, TikTok, whatever.
Just flicking the thumb.
Right. But What I appreciate about their breakdown is how they highlight the sheer emptiness of this action.
It's totally empty.
They make the crucial point that we scroll so mindlessly that if someone tapped you on the shoulder 10 seconds later,
And asked what you just looked at.
yeah, you honestly wouldn't be able to tell them.
Not a chance.
Because we aren't actually looking for information or even entertainment, really.
Yeah.
We are just looking for motion.
That's a great way to put it. We're looking for motion. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, Nagi uses a really evocative phrase during their chat to describe this state.
What's that?
He calls it killing time.
Killing time. We say that all the time, but it's kind of intense when you think about it.
Think about how inherently aggressive that phrase actually is. Time is our most valuable, entirely finite resource. And yet, the moment we are presented with a few unstructured minutes in a queue, our immediate collective instinct is to kill it.
Wow. That's kind of dark, actually.
It is. We want to annihilate the wait. We want to make the time pass faster, so we anesthetize ourselves with the mindless scroll.
Anesthetize. That is exactly what it feels like. But here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Because doing that creates this bizarre emotional and cognitive disconnect.
How so?
Well, I like to think of it as the contrast effect. So physically, your body is stuck in this fluorescent-lit supermarket behind the imaginary guy buying 50 apples.
Right, the pie guy.
The pie guy. You are shifting your weight. You are mildly annoyed. You're hearing the beep of the scanner.
Very mundane reality.
Exactly.
Right.
But digitally, visually, you have transported yourself somewhere else entirely.
True.
You are staring at a vibrant, highly edited photo of a friend enjoying a beautiful sunny beach vacation. Or you're watching a fast-paced comedy sketch.
So you have two completely different inputs.
Right. The dissonance between your physical reality and your digital input is incredibly jarring. And honestly, I think it actually makes the reality of the physical line feel even worse by comparison.
Oh, it absolutely exacerbates the frustration.
Because you'd rather be on the beach.
Right. You are flooding your brain with images of peak experiences and hyper-stimulating content while your physical body is experiencing the restrictive reality of a queue.
It creates a profound sensory mismatch.
It does. But during their conversation, Nagi introduces a critical, highly counterintuitive insight regarding the alternative to this digital escape.
The boredom aspect.
Yes. When they discuss the feeling of being bored when the phone isn't an option, they touch on the idea that boredom isn't just a void to be filled.
It's not just a negative space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is actually incredibly interesting and, more importantly, highly beneficial for us.
The value of boredom. Nagi mentions that letting yourself be bored is actually considered to be great for your creativity.
It is.
But I have to wonder, if boredom is so good for us, why does our brain fight it so aggressively in a public setting like a checkout line?
The brain fights it because boredom is uncomfortable. It requires the brain to generate its own momentum rather than passively receiving it from a screen.
It's work.
It is work. When we feel that urgency to kill time by scrolling, we are actively killing our own creative potential.
That is a harsh truth.
Boredom is the state where the mind is forced to entertain itself. It is the fertile soil from which new ideas, problem-solving abilities, and creative leaps actually grow.
So by pulling out the phone, we're paving over the soil.
Exactly. By constantly eradicating every spare moment of boredom with our phones, we are depriving our brains of the essential blank space they need to synthesize information.
Okay, so let's say we actually try this. Let's say your phone is dead, or you bravely choose to just leave it in your pocket and endure the wait.
A brave choice indeed.
Right. So your brain enters what Nagi refers to as deep thought mode.
Deep thought mode.
But what I found so hilarious about their conversation is how they contrast the types of thoughts we think we are going to have with the thoughts that actually pop up.
Yes. We have this romanticized idea of what boredom looks like.
Totally. You would assume an unoccupied mind would suddenly ponder the great mysteries of the universe, right?
Right. We expect to become deep philosophers the moment we are left alone with our thoughts. We expect to contemplate the meaning of life or the nature of existence.
But the reality of deep thought mode in a queue is far more chaotic than that.
It is entirely chaotic.
Instead of deep philosophy, we get hit with what I call mundane panic.
Mundane panic. That is the perfect term for it.
Nagi describes standing there, staring blankly ahead and suddenly thinking, wait, did I lock the front door?
The classic panic.
Right. Or his brain will jump wildly into the future with incredibly specific low-stakes anxieties. Like, what should I eat for dinner in 3 days?
3 days from now.
It is not peaceful meditation at all. It is just your brain frantically scrambling to find something, anything, to chew on because you took away its digital pacifier.
And that scrambling is exactly what leads directly into the psychological trap of overthinking.
Ooh, the overthinking trap.
Because waiting in line gives the brain entirely too much empty space, it inevitably starts digging into the archives.
And the brain's filing system is terrible.
It is notoriously cruel. It doesn't retrieve your greatest triumphs or your fondest memories.
Of course not.
No, it deliberately dredges up highly embarrassing social failures from 5 years ago.
The awkward moments. The specific example Maki gives for this is just painfully relatable.
I knew exactly what she meant.
Right. She talks about standing there in line, minding her own business, and suddenly her brain forces her to replay a time she was at a restaurant.
Yes.
The waiter handed her the food, smiled, and said, "Enjoy your meal." And her automatic, panicked response was, "You too."
You too.
When she mentioned that, I physically cringed. Because I did the exact same thing to a movie theater ticketing agent just last month.
Oh, no.
Yes. He said, "Enjoy the movie." And I confidently replied, "You too." And then I just had to walk away in shame.
It is the universal cringe.
It really is.
But what is so fascinating about this specific brand of social misfire, saying you too to someone who is clearly performing a service you aren't providing back.
Like a waiter who isn't eating.
Exactly. What's fascinating is how universally shared it is. But why does the brain choose that specific moment to replay while you are just trying to buy milk?
Seriously, why?
The psychology of it is quite revealing. When there is a sudden lack of external stimuli, the brain seeks out strong emotional markers to focus on. And as it turns out, social embarrassment is a remarkably strong, incredibly sticky emotional marker.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So overthinking and reliving past awkwardness basically becomes the default setting for an unoccupied mind stuck in a public space.
It's like our brains use the quiet time in the queue to randomly torture us with these tiny, insignificant social failures.
That's exactly what it feels like.
But thankfully, Nagi and Maki's conversation doesn't just leave us suffering in our own overthinking.
No, they offer a way out.
They pivot to a much more positive, outward-facing use of this idle time, which is observation.
Observation. It is the antidote to both the digital escape and the internal overthinking.
Right.
If you aren't looking down at your phone and you are actively trying to avoid remembering the time you awkwardly thanked a waiter,
Which we all want to avoid.
you can simply look up. You can anchor yourself in the physical present. Maki talks about the simple, very human joy of becoming a people watcher.
I really love the way she frames this in the chat.
It's a great perspective.
She talks about observing what people are wearing, noting their unique styles, or just catching these tiny, out-of-context snippets of their conversations as they pass by.
Like overhearing half a joke.
Exactly. And she beautifully describes this entire experience as watching a free movie.
The free movie concept is a profound shift in perspective.
It really is.
Instead of being trapped internally in the comparison game or weighed down by that guilt pivot we talked about.
Or trapped digitally in the mindless scroll.
Right. Instead of all of that, you engage with reality. Maki makes this incredibly astute observation that people are so deeply interesting when they think no one is watching them.
It is so true. Think about it. The subtle facial expressions people make while reading a soup label.
Yes.
The weird ways they tap their feet to the terrible store music. The completely bizarre combinations of items in their shopping carts.
Ice cream and drain cleaner.
Right. There is this rich, complex tapestry of human behavior happening all around us in the queue.
Yeah.
And we usually miss it completely because we're looking down at a glowing rectangle.
Engaging with that free movie transforms the entire waiting experience from a burden into an opportunity.
It reframes the whole thing.
You shift from being a passive victim of a slow line into an active observer of human nature. It requires no battery life. It requires no internet connection.
Just your eyes.
Just your eyes. And it genuinely enriches your understanding of the world around you.
So taking a step back, what does this all mean for us? We've gone from a 30-minute wait at a donut shop to plumbing the depths of the human psyche here.
We really have. If we synthesize all the takeaways from Nagi and Maki's discussion, we can clearly see that a simple wait in line is actually a dense psychological obstacle course.
It's a minefield.
We start by falling right into the comparison game, creating the illusion that we are somehow losing a race.
That grass is greener feeling.
Right. That leads directly to physical impatience and projected frustration. which then triggers a wave of guilt.
The guilt pivot.
To escape that discomfort, we reach for our phones. We engage in mindless scrolling to actively kill time.
Which completely bypasses the incredible creative benefits of boredom.
Exactly. And when we do manage to put the phone away, we have to navigate the chaotic trap of overthinking and those surprise attacks of awkward memories.
The mundane panic.
But through it all, there is this wonderful, ever-present alternative. The opportunity for observation, the chance to simply watch the free movie of life unfolding right in front of us.
It really is incredible how much heavy mental lifting is happening while we are ostensibly doing absolutely nothing.
It's a lot of processing for just standing still.
And Nagi and Maki actually leave their listeners with some fantastic, actionable advice at the end of their chat.
They do.
The next time you find yourself stuck in a line, whether it's at the grocery store, the bank, or waiting for a fresh donut, they suggest you try to simply enjoy the quiet.
Just let the boredom happen.
Just let it happen. Or, if you really feel like you need a goal to keep the panic at bay, use the time to level up.
Level up. I like that.
Yeah. Because their original conversation is aimed at English learners, Maki suggests using the wait to challenge yourself to learn 5 new words.
That's a great little challenge.
But you can apply that level up concept to anything. Do a quick mental puzzle. Consciously brainstorm a solution to a problem you've been avoiding. Or just actively practice the art of patience.
It is fundamentally about reclaiming that time. Rather than killing it, utilizing it.
Reclaiming it.
And this raises an important question, I think. A final provocative thought for you to carry into your day and mull over.
What's that?
Well, if we know, based on the insights from this deep dive, that boredom actually breeds creativity. And if we know that observing the people around us is like having front row tickets to a fascinating, ever-changing, free movie,
Which it is.
what brilliant ideas or what truly amazing, spontaneous human moments are we actively choosing to miss every single time we immediately pull out our phones just to kill time?
Wow. That is definitely something to think about the next time you feel that automatic instinct to reach into your pocket.
It makes you second-guess the scroll.
It really does. We really hope this deep dive has given you a fresh, analytical perspective on the everyday cue. The next time you are stuck behind someone buying 50 apples, embrace the wait.
Enjoy the free movie.
Enjoy the free movie, and maybe give your brain a little room to breathe. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.